CF Worship singing higher on Premier Christian Radio. 7 minutes past 11. I'm Maria Rodrigues. Now, yesterday I went out for my daily walk, and on the way I saw a lady from church. Whilst we were there, she was telling me how she's a keen gardener. Well, whether you are or not, maybe getting your hands dirty in the soil could help your mental well-being. That's what we're going to explore in this half hour. And to introduce the topic, we're joined by our regional correspondent, Rachel Matthews. Good morning to you, Rachel.
It's interesting, isn't it, Maria? Good morning. I have never spent as much time in my garden, caring for my garden, as I have during lockdown. And I think we appreciate and we're loving being outdoors and nature in a really different way, aren't we now?
Yeah. And would you say you're green-fingered?
I'm trying now. I don't know how old I am now. I'm 46 or something like that. I'm pretending not to know anymore, but I've never been green-fingered, but I am. I really care now, and I'm interested, and I'm bringing things back to life, and I'm looking after them and watering them and feeding them, and I think there is something really beautiful within nature and seeing things kind of come to life and flower and journey with them. So it is very, very therapeutic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is interesting. Some people find it stressful. Some people find it therapeutic. You've tracked down someone who is encouraging people to get stuck into allotments and gardening. So who's that, Rachel?
Yeah, so it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week. And I think there's lots of ways we can be aware and in touch with our mental health. So Sam Thomas is joining us this morning. Sam is the YMCA Community Project Manager in Exeter. And Sam, you've got a real heart, haven't you, for nature and God and bringing these elements together.
Yeah, I have. And it's just been, I guess, stepping back, it's just been amazing to watch the two come together for me. And that's part of a personal faith journey, really. To be able to combine passion and get outside and garden, and to do that with young people here at YMCA Exeter.
Wow, it's great, Sam. So can we just go back and find out a bit about your journey then? Have you always been a Christian, or was there a particular moment where you thought, you know what, I'm going to take this God thing seriously?
Sure. I've lived in Exeter the last 18 years. And Devon is a bit of a spiritual home for me. There used to be a boys' camp just down the road out of Exeter at Rora. And I guess it was there that I really started to understand God's goodness and kindness to me personally. And journeying through that as a teenager, we'd lived as kids in Malawi in Africa. And I got to see what my parents were doing and how they were putting their faith into action. And it was only really as I kind of landed in Devon and heard, I guess, the Christian message once again as a teenager, I started to take it personally. And then working at the YMCA, I've been on a long faith journey of how to put that into action over the 10 years that I've worked here.
Really interesting just to hear the journey that you've been on. And gosh, what an amazing time it must have been living in Malawi. So obviously we mentioned this week is Mental Health Awareness Week. So why has good mental health been something that you're passionate about?
My journey at the YMCA here in Exeter started teaching in the prisons. I'm a trained teacher, and I was finishing a PhD in human geography, and I was doing that alongside the Message Trust in Manchester and the Salvation Army, looking at a group of Christians that were passionate about communities that were just slightly left behind, and I lived with them for a while. And during that time, I really started to notice that often poverty is not just something that's economic, it's often something that is people are trapped in a mindset and people just need opportunity. And I got a number of opportunities there to kind of explore that. And then landing at the YMCA and teaching in the prisons, I just was so aware that there was just healing needed and support needed around people's well-being and their mental health.
So when did nature then, and sort of getting your hands stuck into soil and allotments and so on, come onto your radar, Sam?
Sure. I think for me, as I said, when I was studying at the university here in Exeter, a PhD is a pretty anxious time, and you're working on something on your own for 4 years. And I was engaged to get married as well. And, there's a lot going on in my life at the time. And I was wrestling with my faith, I guess, particularly studying the Christian faith in such depth and the social outcomes of that. And I happened to be walking across the canal path here in Exeter, and I bumped into a chap with a wheelbarrow, and he looked happy. And I said, "Oh, where are you off to?" I'd often interrupt people, and he said he was off to his allotment, and I kind of got chatting to him. And one thing led to the next that really I landed with an allotment in the final year of my PhD. And it became a really personal space for me. It became a place where I could go and just be with nature.
So how do people respond then when you suggest that getting stuck in with an allotment could help them out in their journey of life?
I think to start with, it's all about hearing from them and their story and what they're into, rather than kind of overloading them with what I'm into and why I'm frustrated that parsnips haven't germinated. But actually, just taking, for us here, you've got to picture it. We've got a couple of allotments out the back of the YMCA, and taking someone, down the corridor, out of their room that they might have just only landed in, having been vulnerably housed, and kind of coming out the back of the YMCA. We've got this amazing view over the River Exe, and at the moment, hazel and the ash is just coming out in flower, and it's spectacular. And that itself does something for the young people as they walk out the back and get involved in the project.
And it must be really moving just to journey with these young people, to see them from the moment they arrive, to see the journey they go on. So what kind of situations do people come to the YMCA from?
Yeah, sure. So we work with lots of young people, some of them who end up living with us, others of which we support in the community. And every young person has their own story, and it's theirs to tell. But a lot of them just need that extra care and support in a time of life when they're in a transition that's quite difficult for them, whether that's landed them in insecure accommodation and potential homelessness, or some family conflict that just needs some healing.
Yeah. And what would you say are the particular things that we can pray for you guys at the YMCA in Exeter moving forward?
Well, just like you guys started saying about gardening and nature, it's been amazing to watch nature unfurl. And we here at YMCA Exeter do feel that we're starting to open up. We've got the brunch bar, the Lighthouse Cafe on today, and young people are coming down to that and getting a panini. And there's a real hope in the air, just like there is in the gardening world right now. So we just pray that all of our groups that we run, that young people can really enjoy and engage that. And we just move into a time of real joy for the young people who are here at the YMCA, and that we continue to receive the funding we need to deliver the kind of faith action that we want to do.
I think this morning, Sam, we are having a few technical problems, but thank you so much for sharing that and painting that picture for us. And we'll pray for you and the young people and the work that you're doing, investing in them. And we'll go to a song now.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you so much for having me.